All right. Hey guys, welcome to our Monday Night Dream Team Zoom. Thanks for being on. I know it's a busy time. I know I got home just a little bit ago from work and I don't know if it was a lacrosse game or what at the school, but like we're just parents, people everywhere. And I know that that's all your lives also. So I do appreciate you guys making it on here tonight for us. Um, but I reached out to Megan and I forget, it's been a while ago, but I saw her on a Zoom. And honestly, I don't remember now which Zoom it was. I just remember being like, oh my gosh, like I want her to talk. I want to hear more from her. And then of course I started snooping and I found like your Lavelle YouTubes. And then ta-da, the Thriver TV came out the other day and you were on there. So it just worked out so perfect that obviously Jesus was sending me like, talk to Megan, talk to Megan, talk to Megan. So she very graciously agreed to come on tonight. And I'm just super appreciative. I know the team is appreciative. We are recording this, so I'll share it with you so you can share with your team or anybody who's on here now that may be missing it. Maybe you know someone is busy. I listened to Megan S video from 3 years ago all the time. It's the teacher thing. Okay, that's exciting. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and zip it. I'm going to let you take over and it's all you.
Thank you. Well, that's fun. I actually did not respond to a Facebook message of yours from, I think it was like literally 6 months. I'm not good at finding those, like a non-friend sent you a message. So I opened my actual desktop Facebook one day and I was like, well, that's really rude. You had a message in there. She probably thought, she's not listening to me. And then I thought, oh, worse, what if she tried to friend me and I never have responded? Don't you have those friends that like you go and you're like, what? Why am I not? Oh my gosh, pending. I'm going to retract that friendship request. So try again. So funny. So I didn't mean to. I'm sorry that happened. But yes, I am so excited to share with you guys. And I do appreciate anybody who's hopping on. And I am a huge fan of recordings. So if you're listening to the recording, any time that you give your business is time that you will, get back tenfold. And that's something that I've been a huge believer of since the beginning. Is just plugging in is a huge piece of becoming successful. So congrats to you guys for being on. And if you're listening to the recording, even more so, like even when Paul and Jason do a call, if I don't jump on and then the next day I'm like, I got to listen to that call. So whatever you're doing, if you're jumping on, thank you. So I honestly, I did the homework stuff just so we can have a little interacting. I'm not good at just speaking. I like to kind of hear what you guys have to think, but mostly to watch my video because drop it in the chat, tell me yes or no. But when you hear these people on these Lavelle videos and the Super Saturdays, I spend 90% of my time just like social media stalking them and 0 minutes really listening to what they have to say. So I thought maybe if they kind of know me ahead of time, then they won't worry too much about stalking me. I have been with Lavelle for 6 years. Prior to that, I was a first grade teacher. I live in a small town in Minnesota. I taught first grade for 15 years. I just did a post this week that this year would have marked my, I think 19th or 20th year of teaching. I want to actually say 20th if you count student teaching, because I was for sure student teaching when 9/11 happened. So almost 20 years would have been. At the 15-year mark, I just saw a friend posting about Thrive on Facebook. She wasn't even a friend. She was an acquaintance, Rachel Varachka, if you guys haven't seen her. And I thought to myself, I've tried everything. I want to try that. I asked her for a sample. She said she had 3 left. And I was like, well, I got to get one of those. Now I know we have 100. Don't worry, Megan. I took it all wrong. I actually lied to her and said that I felt so much energy, I didn't need it, when in fact I felt nothing. And then I didn't really understand direct sales. So like a month later, I ordered and I didn't know that she would be able to see that in the back office. Right. So then she came like prancing around the next day and was like, so excited. And I thought, oh, how does she know? So I'm the lady who like buys all the bags from you, shows up at your party, but selling, never. I am really good at telling you that there's something awesome to order on Amazon, but actually saying I'm selling something is a whole different ballgame. So I did not love the product, honestly, even after ordering it, but this little DFT is magic, you guys. I think I was wearing it like under a shirt I had or something. And I was with my sister and my mom and they saw it and they were like, what are you doing? Is that going to make you skinny? Because we're going to have it if that's the case. You cannot do that alone. And I remember thinking, well, that's genius, that little sticker. And now they're ordering. They actually had awesome experiences from day one. So it kind of got me to stick it out. Thankful for them every day for that decision. Right. And so because I had 2 referrals, I was thriving for free. And so never underestimate the value of that, you guys. And always plug it in. You know, I have a friend who's a thriver, and she's got me in a chat with somebody who's just loving it. And I thought the other day, wait, neither one of us have said yet, hey, you love it so much, let's use your product and sample some friends. Just simple. It doesn't have to be like a business approach. It doesn't have to be that weird, hey, you want to, you know, be a promoter, or it can be as simple as like, I know you love this. Let's use some of that product you just got on sale and get a couple samples out and help you thrive for free, because free is magic. And I don't know about you guys, but to spend money on anything every month, it takes effort from me. Like there's not a lot that I stick with paying for every month that I'm not forced to pay for, right? Like, okay, I can't stop paying for my car unless I pay it off. Can't stop paying for my house unless I pay it off. But beyond that, I'm constantly like, maybe we should drop that. Maybe we should get less TV. This cell phone's really, really irritating me today. So like once something is free though, people stick around. So really helping people thrive for free, and don't panic if they don't respond or don't do it. Like just the offer is so important. And then my friend said, okay, you got those 2 referrals, you're thriving for free. You know, I'm going to make the commission unless you want to click promoter. And, you know, just clicked promoter. I think that one of the hugest pieces of our business is that it's free. You don't find that everywhere in direct sales. And personally, I don't know a lot of people that are just like, can't wait to spend money to join a business that I'm not sure I'll be successful at. You know, again, probably not for everybody. So the fact that we have, you know, refer to, and then it's free to join are 2 things that I work on. I'm going to say that I'm not great at this, but something that I want to work on being better at is sharing those things every week. Whether that's in a Facebook story or in an actual story on my Facebook wall, like, hey, I never would have been part of this if I had to pay. I'm grateful for that option every day. You know, like trying not to be salesy, but saying that is a huge piece. Because then your friends, here's the other thing, your friends who are watching you, your friends who have friended you that are watching you, that you've been in a 3-way chat with, or, you know that they would be great thrivers or great promoters, and your friend is kind of a quiet thriver, but you're both friends with her. If you're loud enough and you say things like that, I mean, they're watching, right? So I just think when your mouth is open, when your social media is open, your business is open. And when your mouth is closed, my friend Talia says this all the time, when your social media is quiet, your business is closed. And you don't want that to happen, right? Like we can have a 24-hour storefront, but we got to work it. And so just sharing that stuff on social media in a story-based way. I have an amazing leader, Tiffany Wagner. She was telling me today that she was at a retreat with Sheila Fasoni. This is not your guys' line, but for me, it's Rachel Varachka, Tiffany and Dustin Wagner, Molly Haskins, Brittany Beneke, Sheila Fasoni, Maria Dillard. So I am really close with Tiffany Wagner. And today she told me that she read this book, Building a Story Brand, and that she loved it. And that just made me think like, all of our posts, or all of my posts, I try to think of this in my way, need to be much more story-based. You know, why do I love free? What does that mean to my story? Why do I love refer to? And what does that mean to my story? Nobody's going to connect with like that weird graphic from Thrive and saying, you can get Thrive for free. Like, okay, great lady, sell me some more. Like, you know, I am totally terrible at doing that stuff once in a while. And then I think, ew, what if I saw somebody doing that with their skincare? I would hate that. Anyways, those are some thoughts I have just starting off. I was so lucky that I'm careful to use the word lucky. What is the word? Like when opportunity meets the right time, meets luck. I have an incredible team and they hit 200K in 11 months. And I got the Millionaire Award after 3.5 years. But I'm just a regular promoter. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just do the same things you guys do every single day. It truly is like, once you've talked to enough people, they then talk to people and people, right? We know how this works, right? But I read a book once that was called Built to Last. Write that one down because that one's really good. Built to Last, Build to Last. I don't know. It's like a yellow cover with a hammer on it, maybe. It's a man, and I believe he's from Beachbody. But anyways, he writes this incredible book and he talks about, imagine 1,000 cups on the floor of like a football stadium. Donald Miller, is that who wrote that, Tammy? Is it good? Did you read it? Or did you just Google it?
Donald Miller, I Googled, is the guy who wrote Building a Story Brand.
Okay. Yeah.
Tanya had just asked who wrote that one.
Oh, good.
But I was getting
Yes.
ready to Google the next one you were talking
Google
about.
the other one. I'm going to write that down because I didn't
Okay.
write the author down. Donald Miller. That one's on Audible. That Building a Story Brand is Audible too. Built to Last is an Audible too. And that one, he talks about imagining your business like a stadium, like a football stadium, and there's cups. I'm imagining like red Solo cups lining the floor. That's the name of this game. You have to go down and flip over every cup. There's always going to be a Megan Shaughnessy story that within the first third of my cups, I enrolled some rock stars. My best friend is a rock star. Her husband was in the military. She'd lived 1,000,001 places. She was our homecoming queen. I live 10 minutes from where I was born. I am unimportant, and I have only lived like 2 places in my life. But, enrolling somebody who had that many connections was huge, right? So when there she's jumping on, tell your rotor. When you are flipping over your cups, you don't really get to decide which one's going to hold your talia rotor, which one's going to hold the person that runs to 200K. And your cup at the beginning might be that, but it might take you, 900 cups before you get to that person. And so the faster we move through that, the faster that you're going to have growth in your team. And some of us turn over 20 cups and then we walk away because that was hard. That's okay, right? This business isn't for everybody. But Build to Last. Yes, Keith Callahan. That's a good one. That's where he talks about it. It just really is about connections and about timing and about not giving up. And so one thing Tammy wanted me to, so that's my story. I have 2 children. I have a Cavalier King Charles dog that I kiss on the mouth. I have a stray cat who wandered down my driveway nearly 1 year ago, slept in our camper. We have a camper in our garage. She slept in the camper for like 3 months. Then I invited her in the house. Now every day she murders all night long, all the mice. We have like a couple acres. She murders the mice around our house all night. In the morning, she waits by the door. She has to be invited in because otherwise she'll bring in the dead things. I let her in the house and I kiss her on the mouth during the day after she murders. And that's what I do. And I work in business and I have 2 kids.
This makes me love you 10 times more.
I do. I kiss her right on the mouth. My husband's like, I'm pretty sure she ate a mouse. Don't care. She's super clean. My son is 9, I think. He's crazy. He's crazy. He's in 4th grade. And I have a daughter who is 12 going on 24, who never is home because she's got a full social calendar. And life is busy. My husband works full time at Shutterfly. And that's about it. I'm pretty boring. But yes, she wanted me to touch on any questions or thoughts. I like when you unmute.
If anybody has anything, you can unmute. You can unmute yourselves.
Yeah. I want you to share first in the chat or unmute, either way, before we start. I talked about a couple of books, but is there any books that you have loved that you feel like have shifted your business or shifted your thinking? This is going to lead into kind of one thing Tammy wanted me to talk about was just day-to-day versus running for bonuses. So we're going to go there next, like really what I do day-to-day, what a lot of our leaders do. But I wanted to just start with, what books have kind of influenced you guys? Feel free to unmute and just talk.
I'll share real quick why they're thinking. I read a book 3 or 4 years ago called Girl Code. And I know a lot of people on here have read that now. It's by Kara Alwaleba, and it just is exactly what I needed in the moment. It talks a lot about not holding yourself back for others, not holding resentment and grudges over people in the business, just like truly coming out of the, like the caddy, I don't know, my friend did the business with me and then she dropped off the face of the earth, and like that kind of situation, like how to just rise above all of that. And I needed that in the moment greatly. And then everyone has said it for years. Paul says it every time, but I'm finally making my way through Think and Grow Rich. And my team already knows this. That is a really hard book for me. It's
kind of dry.
Like it's a hard book. So I am reading the book while listening to the Audible at the same time. Like I'm back in kindergarten. Like somebody is reading to me while I'm following along with the book. I'm doing one chapter at a time, but I'm actually getting it. And I'm not moving on to the next chapter. So I'm only like 4 chapters in. I've been doing this forever, but I don't move on to the next chapter until I really fully grasp the chapter that we're on. And I've been trying to read that book for 6 years. So that's what I'm doing.
I love that. I love that. He does say that every time. Anybody else got one?
I have one I'll share.
Yes.
Okay, so my book so I love all the books and I read and listen to all of them, but the one that really did a lot for my business was Future Boards by Sarah Centrella. I share that one with my team a lot, but she talks about the power of vision boards, which we all know is important anyway. Oh, look, Sandra's got it. Future Boards. And one thing before that was Hustle, Believe, Achieve, or something like that. So that one is a good, like, working into the Future Boards book, but the Future Boards book is actually almost like a workbook book.
Ooh,
building
I love a workbook.
your vision board, and it it walks you through using Pinterest to find your goals and getting really specific, and she like asks you to write down your vision. I mean, it's very, very like she breaks it down really small, but man, I love my vision board, and I've knocked a lot of stuff off of there by following her guidance. So that really changed my my business. So I haven't redone mine for 2 years. It's time for me to redo it because some of my visions have changed over the last 2 years, but I've achieved a lot of the stuff off of there that I didn't even know was something that I really cared for until I did the. So I like a book that has homework and like stuff to make you think. So that's mine.
Cool. I haven't heard that one. I love that. I agree. Your vision always changes, you guys. Mine has changed 1,000 different times. I also keep a little thing where I put all of my vision board items that I've accomplished, like keep them in a dish, like a old lady candy dish I have. Get over your damn self, Holly. Yes, that is so good. Bottom of the pool. I've never heard that one.
So I have the Future Boards book, and the reason I have this little notebook tucked in here is because you do have homework in it. And it's a book, this is part of my 10 minutes a day of reading. And it's not a book that you can really do on Audible and do the homework. You kind of got to work through it. But Bottom of the Pool by Andy Andrews, he also wrote The Butterfly Effect, if you've ever heard of that one, where each person's life affects another. And no matter who you come in contact with, you take a piece of them with you. But Bottom of the Pool is that, sometimes when you lose those teammates, things like that, the premise is it's okay if you have to drop to the bottom of the pool, because in order to do so, you push yourself off with your feet and you come flying out of the water. And the trajectory that you set yourself on is unbelievable.
Oh, I like that. I love that. Drive-in, that actually was really great, wasn't it? It does take time. And it really made you realize like the thoughts and actions behind Lavelle, and just how fast they grew and how well they've dealt with that, and the company as a whole, and how lucky we are that it's stayed afloat and like actually grew with that time when they had that super growth. They maintained and like even, have continued to grow and do even better. Awesome. I love all those. So I said Tammy kind of wanted to talk about the differences between like a bonus period and just day-to-day stuff. I have actually earned a couple of pretty big bonuses. I did get an 80K rank advance bonus under my husband. So it was like an $80,000 bonus. And then I got a $140,000 bonus with Lavelle, which was wild. And those time periods look so much different than my day-to-day. When I'm hustling for a bonus like that, really, you guys, it's about like making that decision. And then I go into this weird place where I put sticky notes all over my house and I just do whatever it takes. Right. And that's where you almost are, kind of like collecting your harvest, truthfully. And we don't know when those moments are going to come. Like, you don't know when the next rank advance bonus is going to come. We don't know when the next big moment is going to happen, but we always have to be planting. And so the truth is, the times that I panic is when they're like, big things coming. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, what if they say there's a bonus and I haven't been connecting with people? So day to day is so important, because you are just constantly building for that next, like the bottom of the pool, for that next launch, whether that be, a rank advance or, just a straight bonus, or even as simple as a trip or whatever. I am one that loves a good carrot. The truth is, all of us do, right? Like, just to wake up and just do it to do it. I mean, that takes discipline, but I love a carrot to get me going. The in between, though, has to be constantly connecting. And so that part has to be fun for you. Period. End of story. You got to wake up and think, I like the way that I'm connecting with new people. And there isn't a right or wrong. And I can't really tell you the secret to that, whether it's, a church group, a book club in your town, getting your head out of your phone at your kids, soccer game, or getting on the golf league. These are things I'm doing in town. Making sure that when my PTO is having something going on, I'm offering my time. Parents of kids that come to visit at my house, I'm friending them on social media. With kids, it's that piece. But if you don't have kids that age, it's when you go to church and you're saying hi to somebody, are you finding them on social media and friending them and, saying thank you for connecting after church. It was great to see you. Life seems great for you. Getting out, whether it's that, just getting out in the real world, or maybe you're just a guru at Facebook groups, or, maybe you're going to kill it at Instagram and TikToks and just get a totally, random groups of people. Like, you just got to figure out what your niche is. And that's something I've realized in the last couple of years is everybody's good at something different. If they told me that the only way to build your Lavelle business was to do vendor events every Saturday and Sunday, I would die. I would just die. I would shrivel up and die. I would rather die than go to those and have to talk to strangers. Like, it makes me sweat. Just think they're sweaty. I hate that. But I have people on my team who are just like electric. They get in front of people they don't know and they just can't get enough of it. They dance, they put out wheels to spin, they get hundreds of free accounts. I'm just like, wow. And then I saw that happening and I was like, I got to sign up for one of those. And I barely, I think I paid a lot because, I had to get a fancy one. And I maybe came out of there with like 2 free accounts in one order. I'm not kidding you. It's just not my thing. Right. And like when everybody was saying, you got to do live videos, you got to do live videos. Well, there's people who look great on live videos and they're comical to listen to. And then there's people who are like, their camera's looking at them from down here. They have like the oldest phone possible and they're uninteresting. They shouldn't do live videos. Like, they're probably the person who gets wild at a PTO meeting and should make friends there. So just whatever you do in this business, just know that it comes down to connections, and the way that you make connections best is going to be how you're going to grow your business best. So it's real simple to get on these Zooms from some of our leaders, and a lot of them that Lavelle puts out and be like, wow, I'm going to be the next Instagram star. Let me just get after that. All I need is a great filter that makes everything look gray and I'm in. And then you're like, shoot, my husband won't take a picture of me on these rocks. I'm in trouble. So that's never going to be Megan, but darn it, if I don't want it to be, it's just not going to be me. So I had to figure out what works for me. And I think I'm still figuring that out all the time. But day to day, that's the biggest thing. I think Talia said it. She's on here. I'm probably going to say this wrong. Are you adding to your network? Are you depositing into your network every day? Did you add a new friend that you would really call a real human? You just got to ask yourself that, That's a big one. I have a checklist. That's really huge for me. I really love to have like a checklist that's simple. When I was building my business, I had this. Holly's going to giggle because I say this all the time on my team. And I would just fold it up and I would put it in my pocket. And as a teacher, I would pull it out and I would just complete the tasks, like what's my jobs. So I like for me right now, I start with I am statements and gratitude statements. I really think having your mindset right is so important, you guys. Waking up and doing positive audio in those first 15 minutes. So many of us just grab our phone, right? But can you grab your phone and go to YouTube and search for like a motivational video? 3 minutes. Like literally, kids are hanging on my legs. I am tired. I am not a morning person, but that is the first thing I do after my capsules, right? I listen to 3 minutes of positive audio. Half the time it's loud because I can't find my headset. So everybody's hearing it in the house. That's a big thing for me is just I am statements and gratitude and positive audio, because if your mindset isn't right, people are onto you. Like, you know that when you send a sample and you're like, shoot, I'm so worried they're not going to like it. They're going to poop too much. They're going to act funny. That vibe you give off that like, you just know that it's just, and then when you go into a sample with positive self-talk, like they're going to love it. This is going to be epic. You honestly get a different result. It's the same thing with business. Like you got to go into it with a positive mindset. So if you're not there, that's where you have to start. And then I do connections every day. I just do 10 minutes, like 10 minutes of connections with people who are non-thrivers that are real humans that are not yet thriving with me. So many of us get caught up in that thrive bubble. And it's like, oh, sure, I can, chat for hours with my thrive friends, but I can't seem to find anybody on my newsfeed that's not a thriver. So 10 minutes of, commenting, liking, really genuine things to non-thrivers, even in their stories. And that, so we talk about like, when you're commenting, when you're liking, that's in the living room. You're in somebody's living room, you're at a party, it's easy, but you want to get in their bedroom. That's Messenger. You want to get in somebody's bedroom. You don't just walk in somebody's house and go in their bedroom, right? Usually you have to work your way in there. You got to work into the bedroom. But with stories, we can just get to the bedroom right away. They're inviting us in there because they're showing us in their stories a little bit more. So going to people's stories and messaging right there, it just turns into an instant message. Like you guys know that, but think about it that way. That is a much deeper connection than you're going to get from like a comment or a like. And keeping a list is huge, huge, huge. So in those 10 minutes of connections, I really try to add to an actual list. It's not pretty. It's in the back of my planner. It literally is just names. So that I'm constantly like, oh, if a big bonus comes out, can I go back to these people? These people I need thriving with me. So that I don't just like get somewhere where an important moment comes out and I'm just like, I have nobody. All I have is, my cousin who I've asked 75 times and she's saying no. You have a list of 1 million people that you've been connecting with. Maybe they've asked about Thrive, but then they never followed up. You're still connecting, things like that. Yes, Colleen, if you have negative thoughts about how people will experience Thrive, that is tricky, right? We all have had people who don't do well with the samples or tell us it doesn't work. But you got to go back to the stories of people that had an amazing experience. And so that goes back to simple things like reading the stories on the fan page, messaging your friends who've started with you that have loved it. Hey, tell me again, what did you love about Thrive when you first started? And then just having those close to you so you can read them again. And then when you're sending out samples, when you're messaging people, it is like an actual thoughts that have to go through your head. This is going to go well. Stop saying that story, change the story, call your friend and say, here's what's happening in my brain. And here's what I need to happen. And then they'll talk you off the ledge. Like, this is stupid. Thrive is awesome. So you have to kind of like out yourself with that, because honestly, it changes the way we answer messages. Then when they feel a tinge of worried, we just back them right out of it. Well, tomorrow don't do any of that. No, confidence, right? Tomorrow's going to be great. Keep with it. So just think about that when you're heading into starting experiences and samples. Do you have the right mindset, or do you have somebody in a thread with you or on a call with you that has that mindset that you need? They can be your confidence for a little while. All right, so connections. I make sure to post to my stories every day, both about Thrive and about my life. People are in stories like crazy right now. I try to do a Thrive post every day. Nobody's saying that Coca-Cola is, putting out too many commercials. And I know there's a million people that say, don't post or do, I'm going to say this word, do attraction marketing. Well, that's cool. If you're on social media so much that people want exactly what you have, but the truth is most of us aren't. So you just got to get out there and say it. Like, just say it. You don't have to put your link out there. Please don't. Please don't put that out there, actually. And please don't put it in, even in the comment. It doesn't help. It helps nobody. You might go into your back office and see website hits, but that doesn't help. The truth is, put it, have a link tree. If you don't have one, even Megan can do that. Get a link tree, but just be consistently posting about Thrive. And don't expect people to just wake up and want to thrive with you tomorrow. Like, that takes years of them watching and stuff. So but it has to be every day. So you have to post enough that one Thrive post doesn't make you look too thrivey because you have other things happening, right? So I'm definitely posting about Thrive every day, but I'm also posting about other things, trying to, quotes. I mean, I'm not an expert, but just get in there and post. People like to know you. Try to get your 5 things, like 5 things about you. Mine is true crime, my animals, my children, Thrive, and my team. They're not even that exciting. I don't really do exciting things over here, but those are my 5 things. So I try to post about those things and then throw Thrive in the middle, right? And so do people know who you are? And the who you are can't be fun, nice, thriver. Like, they have to be actual things that you can post about. One of mine actually might be non-kitchening. I don't cook. So I can tell you about that. Every week I can tell you the struggles about not cooking, or maybe yours is, you work out a ton, or maybe you're great at hair, or maybe your job is really cool, whatever it is, but you gotta have actual tangible things that you can post about every week in addition to Thrive, so that people are like, oh, there's Megan. She's the one who kisses her dog on the mouth and she doesn't cook, her poor husband. Yeah. So be real and put it out there so that people know who you are. And then obviously I'll touch on TikTok and Instagram Reels in a second, but I connect with a team member every day. I try to make a connection with somebody that is below me. So this is really important, guys. You always want to make sure that you are looking 90% down and 10% up. It's super easy to get like, ooh, look at those sparkly leaders. I'm gonna message her today. But that person isn't, I mean, I don't mean to be this rude. They're not making you money. So of course they'll give you time because you're making them money. But truthfully, the value comes in looking down. That's not always easy, right? Like, they aren't always easy to message. Maybe they're not in the game 100%. Maybe they're not really people that you would like to lay on a beach with and go on vacation with. But, there are things that you can connect on and work on that. Ask them how you can help them or how things are going, just touch them here and there. Shout out. I try to do a shout out every day. So like, who got a new customer, looking in my back office, who's done an event. It can be, it can be things that are not tangible. Like, it doesn't have to be an order, but are there team members that are constantly in the grind? Did somebody show up to the Zoom that's on your team? Did somebody do something that was, out of the ordinary? Shouting them out on social media is incredible. It builds their self-esteem, builds yours. I heard once that the reason why Taylor Swift is so amazing and how she built her entire following in the beginning was because she spent her entire first 2 years putting the spotlight on somebody else. She would do duets with everybody. And people just started to why is she so nice to everyone? Look at her. She's talking, oh, look at, she's doing a duet with that guy now. And everybody just started to love her. So the more that you can highlight other people on your team, in your network, the more people are going to think, I want to be a part of that.
So can I ask really quick, when you're doing those shout outs, are you talking about doing that on your personal Facebook or your personal social media, not just in a team page, or are you?
Yeah, publicly, either going to the Lavelle. So I actually will go to the Lavelle fan page. And on that, if you go search Lavelle, click on the fan page and click post, you can post something right there. So if you want to shout out for a new customer, shout out for a new promoter, shout out for doing an event, shout out for work in their business, go to the Lavelle fan page. There's always going to be people searching that fan page that want to join a team. I was just talking to somebody today. Oh, that lady, she's a 200K. She just reached out to somebody from the fan page. That's few and far between, but you never know. So that makes you visible, right? And then that puts it out to the public. So it's not just on your wall, not just on their wall, it's on Lavelle's wall. So I'll go there if it's like a shout out or, just to their timeline, go to their wall and shout them out, or on my wall, but it's always public. I don't do many shout outs in my team page. I should maybe, but I think public is where you want it to be. Birthdays, I do spend every day a little bit asking people or just wishing people a happy birthday. I'm not that lady. Okay, it was just my birthday last week. I'm going to tell you, I am just very against people saying happy birthday. Can I send you 3 days of my magic? No, it is my birthday. I'm going to eat some carrot cake and lay around. I really doubt that I want you to sell me whatever you have happening over there. That's how I felt when I got a couple of those messages. So I was like, oh, okay, Megan, no more of that. But I think I could like sending them, hey, hope you have a great birthday. You do anything fun? I did respond to those messages to people I just totally didn't know. But I thought, oh God, I've been like that lady who offers up the birthday sample for years, right? I don't know. It changes. Maybe next year I'll go back to sending it. But this year, that's how I felt. Reading every day a little bit, either an Audible. That's huge, you guys. The biggest places that I pull things from are plugging into your team pages or reading. And so I love a true crime podcast. I mean, every day I am on that Dateline podcast, but it's a reward after I've spent a few minutes listening to a real book. So I can, learn something new, grow a little bit. If you're not, I think it's, again, Talia says all the time, if you're not growing, you're dying. There's no middle ground. You're either, kind of being passed by or you're growing a little bit, and that's not always comfortable. So those are the things I do every day. I try to do a promo for my team every week to 2 weeks and keep it simple, you guys. Even if you have one person thriving with you, you have a team. A promo can be share a fan page story today. I'm going to send you 2 packets of heat. Do a post today that says my favorite benefit of Thrive is, simple promos, but just encouraging people to get out there that aren't always out there. Doing that every week with your team will really start to build that sense of community. I'd rather have 200 people sitting around my campfire doing little tasks every day rather than only focusing on my 2 people who hustle 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day. Truthfully, that I would rather. So be careful that like when you send out a promo and you're not like, well, okay, get 75 free accounts, 4 new promoters, 6 new customers, and post every day for 17 days. And then we will draw for some credits. You're going to get like maybe 1 lady doing that, right? You're not going to get the same result if you try to find little promos that you can get everybody moving with. And like I said, 4K, 12K, even if you only have customers, you can do promos with them. Send it to your customers. Hey, anybody who shows their DFT and thanks me and shares 1 benefit today gets a sheet of, our new TAC DFTs. Use your products in your closet. Don't feel like you have to give giant prizes, little stuff.
I like that, doing a promo based on activity, because I do think a lot of times it's based on a new customer, or like you were saying,
And you don't have control over that. And that's when we get desperate. Like, okay, if we have a giant bonus, we can get desperate. But if you're constantly in that desperate mode, then you're pulling at people more than you're like having a nice conversation. So actions that get them to have people watching them or asking about their Thrive is going to be so much more beneficial, and they'll do it. You can get more people doing it. I'm trying to think. I have this girl who runs a 12K team, and she just has a little thread, but honestly, she even just puts out a promo in the thread. Tell me what you love about Thrive today. And then she'll take screenshots and take their names off, but she'll share that in her social media. And she's like, I'll do a drawing for a packet of chill or 2 packets of chill. Like simple, but just keeping her thread kind of engaged and just keeping her people excited about stuff. And I love that. Don't always wait for your 200Ks to do a promo. They will, but your people like you. And I know that that's hard to believe, but they do. They are paying more attention to you than they are to those Maria Dillards. Of course, we're going to watch your Zoom, but it's not the same. Okay, so promo, Zoom. I try to do a Zoom with my team here and there. We do daily Zooms on our team, like huddles to work together. But if you're a team of one, or you have a 4K team or a 12K team, even doing a Zoom like once a month, even if you get nobody on. I mean, there's days where we have a giant team and we'll get 3 people on. It's fine. I work, move on. You have to also, when you're doing these promos, I'm just gonna let you know, detach yourself from the outcome. You may get nobody who participates. You may get one person. You are still going to shout them out, and you are going to act like, among the many who did the promo, Megan killed it. Congratulations. You might have to like build for a little bit before you get a few people joining. But once they see, the little fun prize and that nobody died, you're going to get more people jumping on the promos. It's very normal not to have a ton. Bingo is a huge one. Our team loves bingo. We do loud and proud promos where for 7 days, we give them what they're going to post about every day for 7 days. And we give away like a little prize every day. Today, we're going to post, Flex Friday, Thankful Thursday. What's, one thing you're thankful for from the Thrive experience. Just so we just simply say, post this, and then you're in a drawing. And then face-to-face is on my list too. So monthly, I try to do a promo, a Zoom, a face-to-face. And face-to-face is like, when's the last time you asked one of your Thrivers to go to dinner with you, or to come to your house for a Taco Tuesday, or just face-to-face, showed up at their door and dropped off some chill. Kind of challenge yourself to do that. And the trickiest part to all this, you guys, is doing that as a 4K and 12K is what creates the 40K, 80K, 200K role, right? And I think it's so easy when you're in those beginning spots to be like, well, it's not really my time. It's not really me. I shouldn't do a promo. I don't want to step on toes. But that's when you're going to get that momentum rolling. And so I think, starting to act like you're that next rank up is the key. So if you want 12K, which is like, that's a huge income boost, right? Like that's incredible. Then act like a 12K. A 12K is putting out promos monthly. They're doing a Zoom for their team. They're having a little event, whether it's at a restaurant, even if 2 people show up, they're doing it. You act like that next rank. A 40K, well, they're having a living room local once a month. They're doing 2 Zooms a month. If you feel like, I don't have a team, none of this is going to fly, that's cool. Just start inviting, start really tiny, start with the little tiny promos. The minute you ask people to show their face on a Zoom or something, that's when the scaredness comes out. But little stuff, start with the easy stuff. The face-to-face dinners, easy. Promos, easy. And then move to, all right, now let's jump on a Zoom. And then the one thing that we say on our team too, that I think is really important is this is their discretionary time. Right. And so I know when I was teaching full time, this is my discretionary time. I had a husband, I have kids, I have shit happening. This is the time when I have like 30 minutes to an hour. Do they want to do it? Are you bringing enough fun and enough real connection to make it something that they want to do? Or are you saying like, this is what good people do? If you want to grow, you have to, oh no, don't say that to me, I'm out. So that's one thing that I have to keep in mind too, because I think about what I respond to. Like, I don't respond well when people are like, well, this is what people do. Otherwise, you're just not going to grow. Then I'm not going to do it. But if they say, it's fun, we're going to have fun later, we're going to get to the Zoom, I have some prizes we're going to give away. Okay, I can do that. So just things I think about, but that's it. I do those basic daily tasks, you guys, and then I try to grow every day. And to think that I'm going to get 100 customers is crazy. I don't. In fact, my PPA is 3. The last person who ordered Thrive from me was the guy who put my pool in. I waited 2 years for him to thrive with me. I didn't ask him, actually. He asked me, which was amazing. But I friended him on Facebook and I've posted tons about how great he did. And so I just spent time investing in him, knowing that he would thrive with me. I'm just not going to be that lady who, like, I know him, he's from my town, he's got kids in school. If I send him these creepy messages, now I've become that weird lady who's got to hide when I go to the grocery store. So I don't do that. But, you know, I truly think in that book, Build to Last, if you spend time on those kind of quality relationships, you're going to get more 200K people. You're going to get more 12Ks. It's not going to be, you're not going to get a 20 PPA every month, but you might actually get a 12K who is invested in you and wants to grow with you. My 12Ks are a friend from high school, my best friend from high school, Anna's on here. She was my daycare provider and a close friend. My sister, a person I taught with for years. Those are my builders. Don't have anybody that I've accidentally met on, like, you know, the street. So I think it's awesome to, like, go out there and try to find places. And I'll talk about TikTok and Reels really quick, and then I'll open up questions. But I think it's awesome to have a place where you're going to get random connections. And that's what I think TikTok and Reels are. But I also think investing in genuine relationships and continuing to build, never knowing when those people are going to want to thrive with you, is equally as important. But then come over here and spend at least 10 minutes growing in the TikToks and Reels. Because truthfully, Facebook is going to give you, like, you have your friends on Facebook, right? And they see your stuff and it's awesome. And you're posting about your true crime and your dogs and life. It's great. And once out of blue moon, somebody's going to ask you about Thrive, or you're going to reach out and they're going to be ready. That's Facebook. Nobody on Facebook is accidentally seeing your posts. Nobody, right? Nobody random is seeing my posts. That's not how it works. But when you go over to TikTok, and yes, China's probably watching us on there, or you go to the Instagram Reels, right? They actually promote those to their basic audience. So that's the thing you have to remember is nobody wants to be dancing on the TikTok or on the Reels. It's terrible, actually. But this is going to put me in front of a bunch of people that have never seen my posts before. That is where you're going to get that group of people that are totally random and totally new. So you can build there. But again, it can't be dancing if that's not what you do. You'll never see Megan doing this. No, because I can't do it, because I won't do it, because it's not me. It's so awkward. If I was a good dancer, I would, but I am not. So you won't see me do it, but I'm going to have to figure out how to make TikTok or Instagram Reels my thing, whatever that looks like, because I have to, you know, keep growing or I'm dying. I don't want to be that old lady. My dad was the tech guy at our high school. I don't want to be that old lady who's like calling him, can't turn my computer on. I got to keep growing. And although I'm very resistant to the Reels, I am working on it. I worked on it today. So that's what I think about them and why they're, you know, being very much promoted by people right now. Is it is a new avenue to get connections that you wouldn't normally get on Facebook. Instagram is so hard.
I want to acknowledge that you are so honest, and I love that. Like, I love listening to a leader who is 100% upfront. I think that we do spend a lot of times trying to be someone we're not, because we see someone succeeding, so we're like, oh, I'm going to be like that person. But like you said, if it's not your strength, you're going to hate doing it. You're not going to do it well. So I love hearing that. And I just want to make sure that my whole team pays attention to this. If you don't love Megan now, from all the stuff she has shared, just being herself, like, that's all she did. She was just being herself. So for those of you that hold yourself back because you're like, I don't know, I'm quirky, or I'm quiet, or I don't do this, or I don't do that, like, it's okay. Be who you are. Like, I'm so glad. It's funny because when I heard you speak on a Zoom before, it was maybe not as intimate, and like you had great tips and all these things, and that's why I wanted to hear you talk. But like, getting to know you tonight, like, you're hilarious. And I love that you're
super
honest.
Boring.
Yeah, but you're not. But see, I think a lot of people think that. They're like, oh, I'm so boring. Why would anybody want to buy?
It's true. I think that every day.
You know, but
I do.
But you're not. Like, I've been cracking up this whole time.
But that's what people want to see, you guys.
Yeah,
that's what that's what they're most attracted to is just being you. Right. And if you is like fancy every day, like, this took a lot for me to brush my hair and put these earrings on.
You look fabulous.
But normally, you know, I think Amy Young is Holly's leader, and she was one of my closest friends. And she's just, if you go find her on the Facebook, she is just in it. Like she is in it. It's the only word to use, but just real. And I think that's what is people are really attracted to. Like you said, Tammy, like the more you can actually be you, you're going to attract you, which is what you want to spend time with on a beach in Mexico, right? Truthfully, I don't really want to spend time with an Instagram star on the beach because I'd be like, great, my friend is posing on the rocks again. Right? I mean, I would love to enroll that person, but I'd feel a little awkward when it's time to take pictures. But I think just be you, because that's who you're going to attract. And ultimately, that's who you want to connect with every day. And it becomes very hard to message and talk with people on your team if you don't really enjoy them. And you're going to enjoy people like you. So finding those connections of people like you, whether, church is really important to you, or parents are really important to you, or whatever is important to you, you're going to attract those people. And then you're going to have a business full of fun people that you want to spend time with. Holly slept over at my house. We had a great time, right? Jean, my mom, made us slushies and we sat in my hot tub. I want to spend time with my team and make it fun. So make sure that that's what you keep in mind, is that the more you're trying to be like somebody else, that's when I know my posts are weird. Do you ever see somebody's like epic post and you copy paste it and you put your own picture on it and you're like, that was epic. And then it gets crickets and you're thinking, wow, it's because they can like feel it, right? Like sometimes I do that and I think, I can't believe I didn't get any comments. And I think they knew that wasn't my writing. They just knew it. It probably said y'all in it. And I'm from Minnesota. Like it didn't work.
I hope you can read the comments right now because it's just,
Let me see.
it's how
Oh,
they'll
you guys
feel.
are so sweet.
It's true. So we try to listen to different leaders. And I think, some people are just, like you said, Instagram famous, balls to the wall, like go, go, go. And that is good for some people, but I love like your just genuine human approach to this. Like, and I think it was in your video. I think it was in your video where you flat out said like, you didn't want to do Thrive full time. That wasn't like you loved teaching. Like this just kind of happened because it happened. So I love that like you weren't chasing all of that. You were just being.
You guys have a job you love, keep doing it. I love teaching. It was like right at this moment where my kids were just starting school. And as a teacher, like watching your own kids going to school and not be able to watch them, I didn't get pictures of my daughter at her first kindergarten day because I was starting my first graders. And I can tell this story now and not cry, but I used to cry about it all the time, that I got to see my kids at their first day at kindergarten. I get to watch them get on the bus every day. I get to have them yelling at me at the pickup line every day now. I mean, it's joyous. I'm that weird lady who's there 20 minutes early that the teachers are all like, ugh, does she have nothing to do? It's true. I'm that lady now. But, I did love teaching. And I do think that Lavelle is a great side gig too. I really do. There's so many people, my sister being one, she's a 12K and she drives a fancy Cadillac, drives that right to school, and she's a Phi Ed teacher. And her extra money pays for a lot of things around their house, and she's done that for 6 years and loves it. So never underestimate, like when you really stop and think what that income does for your house. And prior to Thrive, what we would have done for that little bit of income. That's crazy to me, right? So yes, she has a car payment because she drives Cadillac, and she gets her $800. But even that, she probably banks $300. She probably gets $200 to $300 every week. So she's making $1,200 to $1,500. I know for a fact her mortgage is $1,500. Like what? That's crazy to think that as promoters, we can spend 10 minutes a day on these tasks and we can cover our mortgages on the side or really put a dent in some household things. To me, like before I was teaching, I was making cakes actually, and I made $0. But I was trying to find extra money on the side. I didn't want to do summer school, but I was in a constant spot of like, oh, how can I make a little extra money without having to work at like the grocery store? Because you can't find jobs that are extra, that aren't just minimum wage stuff. And so, you know, taking that time out from your day, it really is just a blessing that we get to do this from the couch while we're watching Schitt's Creek at night. Like, just post your stuff, go to bed. You can do this in the nooks and crannies. It doesn't, and it shouldn't take you away from your family. Now, when I was like running to 200K, I like gained 20 pounds. I had like 4 zits on my face and I did not see my family, right? There will be that moment and then it's worth it. But from now, like when you're building from 12K to 40K and 40K to 80K and even 0 to 4K, right? 10 to 15 minutes a day is going to really do a lot for your business. It really will. So, you know, that compound effect, that's another book, just a little bit every day. I think that compound book, it said, like, it's called The Compound Effect. Like, what happened if you drank a glass of wine every single day for the next year? What happens if you walked for 5 minutes every day for the next year? And what happens from that tiny choice you make every day? That matters. And that's truly what I believe about Thrive. The people that have really stuck with it and just put a little bit of time in every day that are still around have impacted their families in ways that I think we underestimate. Anna's on here. Sometimes I have to say to her, get back in your back office and go click on commissions and look back at the money that you made in the last few years and tell me you're not successful, because that is success. And sometimes I think we forget that we're doing huge things. You know, just because we're not Maria Dillard's, just because we're not, you know, like paying off our house in 2 weeks, like that is pie in the sky. It's coming, right? Lavelle is our vehicle and we are getting there. But in the meantime, you have to celebrate where you are and what you have done so far for your family. You know, taking those little things off your vision board, not having to fight over filling your gas tank when, you know, the checking is low. I used to yell at my husband all the time. Our Jeep payment is coming out tomorrow. And if you spend any money, we're in trouble. It was $324. Like, that's real life, right? And so if we're giving our checkbooks a little bit of a relief because of that, that's awesome. We get to write off so much. Just having the business, we can write off samples. We can write off all the product we buy. We can write off part of our house is our office. You know, there are just so many benefits to having this business, but the key is to be thankful and grateful for it every day, and realize that your success is that it is really a success. It truly is. And, you know, there's always going to be somebody bigger and better and richer and happier, you think, but the truth is where you are right now in your business is a success. Showing up every day is a success. If you're thriving for free, that is a success, right? And then it'll grow from there when you do those little things every day. But really keeping it positive with yourself and also with your team. You know, there's going to be so many times where it's easy to say, well, if that Holly would get to work, I'd be just fine over here. But my paycheck is not great because Holly is not working. What the heck? My husband used to say all the time, what got you here won't get you there. So stop staring at the people who got you to 12K. You're going to go out and find awesome people to help you get to 40K. Okay, keep moving, Megan. So think about that too. You know, love people where they're at. I can say this because I don't think she'll ever watch the recording, but my sister's a great example of this. She is an amazing human. If you've met my sister, she is incredible. Everybody loves her. But early on, you know, 12K was about what you wanted. And no matter how much I pushed, I wasn't going to get more than that. You know, there just wasn't a big drive to put more effort in or more time, you know? And it bothered me at first. And I got real annoyed with people. And I realize now that like, that was all on me. You know, so think about that too. Just because people don't have the same goals as you, it doesn't mean they're not right. It doesn't mean that they're not, you know, working to their fullest potential. It just means that's where they are. And you're going to go out and find 5 more people like that, so that you can build your business to 200K. You know, it's 5% of people that are going to want to grow. But a lot of people are going to be really happy at 4K or 12K or thriving for free. And you want to keep them around your campfire because you don't want to make those people feel so uncomfortable that they just are like, oh, throw it away. I want to burn this whole Thrive. I mean, I've had people with epic stories, you guys, leave the business because they felt too much pressure. You don't want that. You just got to keep flipping the cups, and it has nothing to do with you. So release the feeling that you have done something wrong, that you didn't bring people on right, that you are not saying the right things. You can't say the right thing to the wrong people. You can't say the wrong thing to the right people. Just keep going. Just keep connecting. Just keep being real. And it really has nothing to do with you. Like it's the cups. Just keep thinking that it's the cups. Somebody flipped over your cup and got lucky, right? Sometimes I have to remind myself that, hey, Rachel flipped my cup over. I'm a pretty good cup. I'm working every day. So yeah, celebrate yourselves. You got to do that a lot more.
Well, Megan, thank you for this. I know this was a lot of time out of your day, but I super appreciate it. And as much as I thought like I was loving the Zoom, I think the last 10 minutes I might love even more. Like that was all what we needed to hear. Like
Oh, you're so sweet.
we're right where we belong. So I super, super appreciate this. I will send the recording to you, and those of you guys on my team, you know, it'll be on my YouTube, so you can find it after the fact. So thank you, Megan. Yeah, I don't, this was a good perspective. I have an entire sheet and a half of notes. And so I don't always take notes. So that's exciting for me. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, yay.
Yay. Bye.
Bye, guys.